So here's Bill Parker. He was the first man to step on the beach of Normandy. I personally knew him from a we used to eat lunch together over a place for a veteran called the Coffee Bunker several years ago. He passed away like September 23rd, so basically September 11th, 2023, like 2 years ago. So he lived to be 98. Today is his birthday, if he was alive, November 1st. And so I was asked by his caretaker to do several paintings. I finished one. This is the second one. I have a couple more I'm going to do. And then when he passed on, U.S. Congressman on Florida Congress, Kevin Hearn, he recognized Bill Parker's life, legacy, and memory when Bill passed on about 2 years ago. So there's a couple of pictures of I've found of Bill with Kevin Hearn, U.S. Senator or Congressman, and come out dinner together, do one with them standing next to each other. I give that to Kevin Hearn. Anyway, so that's what I'm working on what would be Bill Parker's birthday if he was still alive, if he made it to 101. Uh, so I got one done. I wanted to do a couple more, probably about 4 or 5 well, what ours called like legacy paintings, legacy portraits. And so with that, this is the second one. I've done one already, a little bit smaller. When he was older, a couple of years ago before he passed on, he had a cap, ball cap he'd always wear. I'm talking about first wave and talking about on D-Day, and explained, who he was and what he did. I know on his ball cap, it was stitched on it. I've done that portrait of him with that ball cap, all the lettering, all the wording on it. And so when I finish this up, it may take 2 days. This evening, I'm not gonna get done. I got to do his hand to the horse's ears and stuff, and do the background for the leaves. But yep. So let me go ahead and gotta get some other stuff going here too. Hello. So I have YouTube going. I got TikTok going. This is Bill Parker. It would have been his birthday today. He would have been 101. Passed away about 2 years ago. First man to step on the beach in Normandy. I knew him personally, and he used to come to a place called the Coffee Bunker, a place for veterans. And so we used to eat lunch together and stuff. And then COVID happened, and you know, he was in his 90s. So, but after COVID happened, and him being isolated, he went ahead and went to France, and the president of France actually gave him a medal, gave him recognized him stuff. And so, yeah, and then when he passed on, Kevin Hearn, a U.S. congressman, recognized Bill Parker's life, legacy, and memory on the floor of Congress. So Bill, he's a national treasure, and he's from Oklahoma. I think Skytech. I used to live in Skytech when I was a teenager for a little bit. It's some tea. Not bad. Use a plastic help today. We'll get set up here. I'll work all night. Here in a second, I have YouTube, TikTok, Instagram going. Got some coffee. I was eating some grapes earlier. Got a little grape skin on my teeth. My teeth. So, I'm gonna put some gloves here in a minute. All right. I got a little bit of late start today, but that's okay. I'll work overnight. So, I'm going to start. Everything on me. Okay, well, here we go. Yeah, let's start without. I'm trying to log into this third one here. Okay, just a second. Okay, finally, sheesh. Today we're doing this again. I gotta get to work here in a second. It's just getting old. I gotta go ahead and get to work. I don't know why it's fucking playing this game. Okay, I'm back. So this I'm working on Bill Parker. First man step on the beach in Normandy. He passed away about 2 years ago. Today would have been his birthday. He would have been 101. His caretaker asked me to paint some portraits for everybody. So I'm doing some legacy paintings. It's been so he was born November 1st, 1924. It's now 2025, and so he would have been 101. But again, it's somebody I personally knew. Uh, it was like mentioned by Kevin Hearn, U.S. Congressman, when Bill Parker passed away uh, about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and mentioned him on the floor of Congress. And so I was asked, this is the second painting I've done of Bill. I have 3 or 4 more I want to do. Um, yeah, so right now I'm trying to log into a third popular social media site. I have TikTok on, I got YouTube. Try to do this other one. I do Facebook. So let me see. Okay, hold on a second. Let me see. Give me 1 second. Oh, man, that's crazy. I'm ready to get to work. Okay, I'm actually here. All right, cool. Here am I. Yay, okay, I'm here. Okay, good. I got. Mm, let's see, something. Okay, yeah, I'll put some underneath that. So this is Facebook / Meta. I'm painting Bill Parker. Today would have been his 101st birthday. I got TikTok, got YouTube, his Facebook. Anyway, so Bill Parker, somebody I knew. We used to eat lunch together. He came into a place for veterans. It's called the Coffee Bunker several years ago before COVID. And then um, and then COVID happened and he's more isolated than when that was pretty much over. He went and traveled. He went to France. The president of France recognized him, gave him a medal for his contribution. For World War II, Bill Parker was the first man to step on the beach in Normandy. Excuse me. I was asked by his caretaker. Oh, well, anyway, so he, he passed away about a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago. So I was asked by his caretaker to do some paintings, like legacy paintings for him. I've done one painting. This is the second one. I have about three more, maybe four. I want to complete within a year, about a year, maybe a year and a half. And then I want to go to the caretaker, to his family. I want, to Kevin Hearn, because Kevin Hearn, I'm going to do one with him. There's Bill Parker and Kevin Hearn. He's a U.S. congressman. Well, for the main reason is Kevin Hearn, he's I'm in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Bill, he was from Scottsdale, I believe, and I used to live there. But point is, Kevin Hearn is U.S. congressman from Oklahoma, and he recognized Bill Parker on the floor of Congress about his life, legacy, and memory. Uh, about Bill Parker being a national treasure, and so for that, I want to honor Kevin Hearn. Well, he also had pictures from the news of Bill Parker, standing next to Kevin Hearn when he was when Bill Parker was alive and stuff. So that's somebody they knew each other, and the congressman knew him personally also. And so with that, it was somebody that he knew and that I knew. So this is personal to me and to Kevin Hearn and to his caretaker, to his family, and to other veterans. And so, but I have several more paintings I want to finish up. I want to do one of Kevin Hearn and Bill Parker together. I'm going to present that to Kevin Hearn. I have one of Bill Parker already done. I want to give that to the caretaker. This one here, I want to auction it off and give it to have the proceeds, you know, uh, go to open a mercy shelter for veterans only. Uh, because one of our veterans that came to the coffee bunker, Bill Parker, excuse me, his name's Brandon Baca. He was a signalman. He's a shorter guy. Anyway, he froze to death about a year and a half, about a year and a half ago. I finished up Brandon Baca's portrait on the day to 1 year to the day of when he passed on. So, yeah, I I'm trying to open a mercy shelter for veterans, and I'm gonna name it. Was it Brandon's house officially? And then I just want to be, like excuse me, Mary Ligon. She started Coffee Bunker because her son committed suicide. He was in the military, got an outdoor living wasn't a place for him. So it's been there about 15 years, 41st and Sheridan, and they've been renting that building, and it helps veterans in every way. It's a great place. Always was, is, and always will be. Except for Brandon Bach, he got stabbed in his neck uh, about 3 years ago. So he had lost a lot of blood, had some seizures, was too young to really go into a nursing home. He did drink at one point, but then he went to 12 12. So when he actually froze to death, it was behind the store, but it was really just a cold snap. So we went to sleep. I don't think he knew that that was coming to where. But the point is this: he had trouble. Brandon Baca, after he got stabbed in his neck and had staples, you know, he was trying to catch somebody stealing his clothes when he was homeless out there on the streets. And then after that, tried to let him stay with me where I was at, and I was homeless. And then Stephen Ray, the manager at this one place, he said, "I've seen you on the news. You've done a bunch of portraits of veterans, so we let me stay with another veteran." Anyway, that veteran now, he drank a lot. He's in a nursing home. But Stephen Ray, the manager, was like, "I'll let you stay, stay with your friend." And then my friend, anyway, so there's a lady named Alice. After Brandon got stabbed in his neck, had staple. Well, he was still healing, and I told Alice, "Hey, I'd like to bring him to where I'm staying. I'm homeless, but I hate to see this guy. Something happened to him. Again." So brought him to my place, as in like the place I'm staying. So I was homeless, trying to help another veteran. And so after a while, Stephen Ray said, "You're okay," but the other guy just went to me, homeless veterans in this place, and so and that was before Brandon Baca went to 12 12, which was a few months later. So it was maybe 2.5 years ago. And then after him graduating 12 12, he then froze on the streets, and so. But he had cognitive issues, and he had seizures. It's hard for him to speak because it damaged his vocal cords, and he had trouble, traumatic brain injuries. So it's hard for him to navigate, get around town. And he was a little dude. He was kind of young, like I think maybe like I don't know, 38 to like maybe 52 or something. But the point is, I want to get a mercy shelter for veterans only. There's not one in Tulsa. I'm getting close. I've been at this, so I'm not trying to overtalk it tonight. This is, I'm going to go all night. Tonight is Bill Parker's doing his painting. I was asked to do that. But one of the paintings I want to sell, and the proceeds, go to open a mercy shelter for veterans only. I just want to be like, I just want to be the founder to it. I don't want a dollar out of it. I just simply want to help my fellow veterans. And my point is, I want to name it Brandon's House. And so there's some vets that go to the coffee bunker, which is Mary Liggins, the founder, and it's been over 41st and Yale in Tulsa, and it's a place for veterans to come together and get resources, hang out, and that's non-government. It's a it's a nonprofit, and so with that, when it closes, veterans got to go other places, and so with that, the official name would be Brandon's House, but I want to do it DBA, doing business as like like the Coffee Bunker. The official name for it is the Honor Bunker, and it's DBA, the Coffee Bunker, and then Brandon's place, which would just be a warehouse and it'd be functional. Um, I'm talking to a guy named Evan with Be Heard. I did his portrait of him about 4 years ago. Now the mayor has officially, as of yesterday, done an executive order saying the place for Be Heard, it can be open 24 hours a day. Uh, was it 7 days a week for inclement weather until like March? He did that. So and that's for civilians, and Evan, he's civilian. but he came to the coffee bunker about 4 years ago, so I met him. Yeah, I did his portrait about a year ago, Evan. So, well, I got his picture. I finished his portrait. Evan, a bee hurt, and the mayor recognized him. I'm at a place now called Shoe Brews, and the founder there is a lady named Rhonda Bear, a Christian, and helps women transition from prison, and those that may have substance issues. And even there's a one woman in their program that just her husband passed away. She just didn't have the life skills to so they let her stay, starting the program, and and then also uh, and it wasn't sell coffee, but they. So with that, that's where I'm at now. I've been there for about a year and a half. Rhonda Bear says women love me. I paint women, paint the children. I do other art projects. I'm about to share too, man. I'm just so happy with my life, and so grateful that my art is so appreciated, and people, is so well received. Uh, like I have something coming up. I'm about to do this year makes the fifth year I've done a calendar. I did one. Uh, was it 3 years for the first 3 years? That was for the coffee bunker. Last year I did one, and that was for Shebrews. So it was like their first annual calendar, Shebrew calendar. Now I'm working on a second one, 2026, and so it makes 5 years I've done calendars, and so I'm giving back to the community. Nobody really buys it. If they want to donate, they donate to the coffee bunker and some money, and they donate it to Shebrews. But it's all really just about bringing awareness to different organizations and stuff. And so staying on point was So I was at the coffee bunker for about 4 years, and then graduated veterans court, and so got my felonies off me. I was there. The rally room didn't have no windows and stuff. So after about 4 years, half a decade, it's time for a change. So I went, figured out this. Well, I was at a bank. A bank said, "Oh, you're from the coffee bunker. Did you hear about She Brews?" I'm like, "No, what's that?" And it's about women that get out of prison and stuff. And yada yada. They got one in Claremore Coffee House. I did one in Tulsa. So this female banker told me about it. So I went there, checked it out, and before I made the transition from the coffee bunker, because I'd done a couple hundred portraits of veterans. I did three annual calendars, and also worked there full time for 4 years. Not paid, not just volunteer officially, and doing basic double duty. I went in. The rally room has no windows. You got one window, but when you stand up, you can't look out. So I'm like, okay, it's time for a positive change. So I went to, again, Mary Ligon. She started Coffee Bunker. She's a founder. And then from there, I went to She Brews, the founder for that Christian nonprofit transition program. They have one in Claremore, one in Tulsa. City bus don't go to Claremore. So Tulsa's like where I live, second largest city in the state of Oklahoma. So with that, I went to check it out before I did the transition, so they could figure me out, see if I liked the program, see, like to be there, and also see if it's a good fit. And eventually, everybody accepted me there. They realized my intentions are pure, and you know that I'm a good person. That I'm not on no BS, and I had no ulterior motives. I'm just there to do art and give back and help recognize for the women, the children. Not all of them. They've been through a lot. So there's some that do have want me to paint them. I painted them, painted the children, and then the calendar because again they've been through a lot. Whereas the coffee bunker, the portraits, for the coffee bunker calendar, there's other portraits of the vets. But for the women in transition program, obviously they've been through a lot, so they didn't want pictures of them. So I done. It has nice bay windows. So what I do is have I have panels I paint and has like the shape of bay windows, and through that it has different scenes. So that's similar to the environment of where I sit. Like during the week and paint, and I look out the bay window. So this calendar I'm about to do for She Brews, I got about 3 panels done, and it has coffee cups at the bottom, like on a table. Simulate the table, give it a wood pattern, and then put She Breeze on it. But my point is contact news for that show that the women have worth and value, to society. That they're starting to bring awareness to that. And what it is, hopefully, I'm not the greatest artist, uh, but hopefully the news will do a new story on that. They did one on this a year ago on Bill Parker restarting that, and so I'm not expecting no one for this one. As in the ones I do, when I finish off 4 or 5 of them, they might. But that's not my goal. My goal is I finally got to tell Rhonda Bear last week, the founder of She Brews, that I what my passion project is, my origin story, which is Brandon Baca, my buddy freezing to death out there, veteran. And so I told her because the mayor of Tulsa, he came to her place and he went to Evans to be heard. And so my goal is to, you know, I know what it takes to run a place, uh, as in what works and what doesn't work. I just want to be a founder. I just want a place like the Day Center in Tulsa for my vets, and can lay their head down, and but that a place where people can understand them. Those have been banned from other places. Vets have anger problems and might have extra substance issues, alcohol, drugs, and other places they just push them away, or they try to find another vet. Oh, you know, you both need to leave. That's not the solution. So my place would be more inclusive for veterans, and me dealing with veterans every day for the last half a decade up until about year and 3 months ago, which I've been at a place, just in a cafe, and women go to a transition program. She brews, they serve coffee. But my goal is also to still be at She Brews and paint, and do art for them. I want to have my art, a third of it. I was telling Rhonda, I want to get a third, I'll get an attorney, start a trust, and have it done properly. I'm not handling the money, but a third go to She Brews because they were nice enough to let me be in the news 4 times last year, and give a shout out to them. And so with that, uh, Facebook forced me to be, which is Meta, which is $1 billion organization, to be uh, to be a professional artist on there. So with that, I could get monetized with commercials. And then now I'm on TikTok, and now I got 1,000 people. I got this one female. Her name's Bonita. Give her a shout out. She believed in me, and so with that, thanks to her, I got like 1,000 people that follow me, and so I can start monetizing with that. Um, and then I have YouTube. YouTube is really, it's not. Let me stay on point. So Facebook/Meta. I mean, Facebook/Meta. Yeah, but Facebook, which is tied into Instagram, they both delete their live thing after 30 days, but YouTube does it. And really, they go on live program for so many valid, like, I don't know how it really works, but for when you go live, you have so many followers, valid, whatever, and you can get a couple $100 here and there or something like that. And my goal is to get an attorney. I was telling Rhonda Bear of Shebrews, and have the money. I not handle it, but some of my art, not this, but some other non-portrait art, and they go to a trust and an attorney, and then she gets a third. The foundation, Brandon's house, uh, and then it's going to be DBA, the bunkhouse. So other vets. That's here's a good tie-in. with these tabs open like a Windows, like a computer. Uh, so that's like the coffee bunker. It's the official name is Honor Bunker. Does DBA as the coffee bunker? And I asked Mary Ligon before, why do you call it that? She said, well, I just want people to be inviting to come and drink coffee. The name. So I was like, so that's the coffee bunker. For my, like I was saying, it helps veterans in every way. It's great. And that's at 41st and Tulsa. It's the first of its kind, been there about 15 years. And so I worked there for 4 years. And then I needed to network. That's why I kind of left because you can't go in the back there unless you're a veteran. So where I'm at now, I have another lady. Her name's Miss Rogers. She wrote a book. She had a movie she made, and she has a non-portrait art that she's gonna sell for me, my organization. And then I can't. I don't want to handle the money. I'm not going to. So half of that, she's a go-getter, Miss Rogers, and she wrote a book called "How She Escaped from Prison," and it's a metaphor. She's actually an ordained minister. She's not a church nun, but she goes around promoting the book. And so with that, I'm gonna give her some non-portrait art. I'm doing a second portrait for her, and then from there, half the money would go to my son, adult son. He has his own business. He has a tax ID number and all that. And so with that, a third would go to him and my grandchildren. I don't want any money. I don't need any. I get the government takes care of me. I'm just saying, well, I got a place laid in my head. But point is, once getting enough money from Miss Rogers who wrote a book and goes and promotes the book, sells some of the art, one third of San Juan there will go to a trust and get an attorney, and then I'm not handling the money. Miss Rogers gives it to my son, and then a third goes to my son, a third goes to Ron the Bear, and to help those women because they believed in me. I give me a place, allow me to promote my art, be on the news 4 times in the last year. And so that's, it's not about the news. It's about, them believing in me, allowing me, accepting me. And so uh, with that, and then the tie-in to this for Coffee Bunker would be when I open a place, again, Branda's house officially, it would be called the bunkhouse. So when vets that leave the coffee bunker they have traumatic brain injury, it's hard for them to navigate. Uh, they could tell them, hey, you're leaving the coffee bunker, time to go to the bunkhouse, and that's the colloquial name, the functional name, for Brandon's house, which would be the official name. So with that, Evan from Be Heard, he's going to have me talk to the mayor, Monroe's Nichols. I've done his portrait here recently. I just finished up Evans and Be Heard. Prominent young man. He's a go getter also. He's got a place for civilians, but really it's for anybody. But for them to take showers, wash their clothes, he helps. Then we started out with a truck pulling a trailer several years ago. Now he has a permanent place outside a church on the Abro in Tulsa. And so, yeah, I finished his portrait last week. He's like, hey, he showed the picture of the mayor. I sent it to the mayor, Monroe Nichols' assistant. And yeah, everything's coming together, and it sure is. So I'll be able to, I'd say I'm so glad that Monroe Nichols, the mayor of Tulsa, has Evan. Evans from Be Heard is actually going to be inclement weather place, open 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, staffed for people to go to, so they don't freeze to death. So that would be it. I'm happy since I talked to Evan and I told him about me wanting to do it for veterans. I have a building. A few days later, he talks to the mayor, and then for his place, it's already there. So that's given. For me, I'm still doing my art, trying to get a building just for veterans only, because there's not a place for veterans. So that's a nice stopgap for veterans and civilians to go to be heard and do that so they don't freeze to death, until, and then when the weather for Oklahoma is, normal, it will be the emergency order that the mayor, Monroe Nichols, said, allowing the inclement weather place. That there's another place called, I don't know, so 41st and Sheridan. Creok, C is abbreviation, CREOK, whatever. I don't know nothing about that, but I know Evan. I know about him starting out, and he went from a truck and pulling a trailer to having a place that's a semi-trailer long, has, it's at a church, it's a permanent location, and it'd be to a semi-trailer long of how he actually wants to paint that. It's a unit, has on sign, be heard. The mayor went to this place about 3 months ago, and the city of Tulsa actually shuttles people from there, from downtown to his place, to and from all day. So, but the point is for Evan from here, and he has a place in Oklahoma City too, which I haven't been there. But the one in Tulsa, and from where I met Evan 4 or 5 years ago, he's come up, and the mayor's recognized that. And so my passion project started out with me when I sat in isolation for a year straight. I was in there for a year. Well, I was in there for 6 months, and I said to the Lord, I said, I told, I told a couple people. I told Rhonda Bear, and I told Miss Rogers. I wrote a book, about her life and stuff, and how she changed for the positive. To my how she broke out of prison. This metaphor for how she changed her life for the positive. I told Rhonda Bear. I told Miss Rogers. I told Evans also. We heard. I said, I was in isolation for a year straight on 2021, locked down in one man cell. And I said, after being there for 6 months, I said, Lord, I'm just praying. Can I allow, alone to myself? Wouldn't even think about myself. I was like, what can I do if I get out of this situation, Lord? How can I help society? And it came to me, open emergency shelter for veterans only, because there's not one in Tulsa. And if anybody looks on the, you can see on YouTube, you can see on Facebook, you can see on TikTok, tour from a year ago when I started painting Bill Parker, the second painting, which I'm painting this evening once I get done yapping. I appreciate you bearing with me. Uh, the reporter, I told her about how I wanted to open emergency shelter for veterans only, for the vets that, that have been banned from other places and have, anger problems, have PTSD, that have, all these emotional, mental issues, substance issues that they can't fit in anywhere else. They just come to my place. And I'm close. I'm close. Thanks to Evan, thanks to Rhonda Bear. She said, man, she said, I'll never forget this because I worked at her place for a year and a half, doing art for them. And I finally told her my passion project, and what the Lord, put in my heart. And what that is open roads and shelter for veterans only. I told her about my origin story of Brandon Bach, a fellow that I know, freezing to death. And about a year and a half ago, and she, Rhonda Bear, the founder of Shebrews, I finally, after a year and a half, I finally got to tell her like last week. I said, well, anyway, so she said, I'll never forget this. She said, word for word verbatim, she said, dude, you got a good heart. And that meant a lot to me. Just the way she said it, it's like no fluff, just kind of give me some confirmation, like basically, dude, I realize you're not on no BS. Dude, you really are trying to, help out society, and you are really trying to do good with your art. And that meant a lot to me, coming from her. And so with that, she said also, now I'm paraphrasing, but she said after that, I look forward to seeing you open up a shelter for veterans. And that's it. I don't want a dollar out of it. I just want to be a founder. I want to get that going. I know what to do and not what to do and what not to do, and how to be different from all the other shelters. And So I've been to all the other shelters, and yeah, and I know, I worked with veterans. I also worked at John 316 when I first got out of jail, like 5, 6 years ago. I worked there almost a year, two different lead positions. Even the founders and Steve Whitaker, the senior, now his son runs it. The senior, he came and shook my hand, said, thank you so much for all you do here. And he said, are you in the discipleship program, which is like a year-long program? I said, no, sir, no, I'm just, as I guess, quote, I didn't do the air quotes there, but I said, I'm a guest. So that means, in general, I'm just explaining to y'all, a guest is somebody that just can be there day to day. And so, but I was court ordered to be there at the time. And when I did work there, I wasn't expecting it, nor did I get it, nor did I receive it. But the judge from Veterans Court, she's like, oh, you're giving back. I see, that meant a lot to me because really what I believe is those that do God's work, like the people that work at John 316, Rhonda Bear, and people in the program, giving back and trying. Let me say it to you this way. Um, how would they work through people in nowadays times? And I thought about that when I first was at John 316 years ago. And the truth is, God works through nowadays through ordinary people, that like I did when I worked at John 316 and through Rhonda Mayer and other senior staff that work, uh, you know, with the transition program to help these women get their life back on track, and get their families back, their children's. Some of those women don't have children, um, but I totally believe in that, and I want to help financially with my art and doing that with an attorney and giving a third to that in the future. Portrait, non-portrait art. This, this is yeah. This is something totally different. I got like 5 paintings I want to do for it. This started back when I was at the coffee market, actually about 2 years ago. And so with that, I have non-portrait art that I really want to get going. And so I thought working on Bill Parker here overnight. It's almost about 10 o'clock at night. So he would have been 101 today. This is a picture that was told paint. And so it's of him. He's a cowboy, but he's part Native American. So I believe Choctaw tribe recognize him also as a as his native hero. And then also, you know, uh, he was a cowboy in a way. He actually rode horses and other stuff. First man on Beach Normandy. His caretaker asked me to paint him. I knew Bill Parker in person. We used to eat lunch together at a place for veterans. So again, my goal is to keep doing art, even though I open a emergency shelter. This is what Bill would want. A place. He wants to coffee market. I know Bill would want a place for other vets to go to because there's not one at Holson for them to lay their heads down at night because because one of our fellow vets, Brandon Baca, froze to death. And about the same time that Bill Parker passed away. I think Bill passed away a few months later, but he was already at home, and, just getting constant care. And so, you know, uh, he was 98. He was getting ready to pass. But Brandon Baca, he was a younger man. He froze to death. So, point is, I could be surfing the way I want a Saturday night, but I'm painting. But just painting here for y'all. And let me get going. Oh, with some music. But once I get the emergency shelter for veterans, I want to, yeah. Uh, I'll save it. I'll write it out and give it to the mayor by the 12th of November. There's going to be a public Forum at the Tulsa Convention Center. Excuse me, Tulsa Performing Arts Center. And I'll probably just go up there and give him his painting, then also give him something in writing, stating who I am and kind of like my little history there. Because he's a busy man. You don't know me. I would literally just, Evan said we could drive up there and talk to him. Probably do that actually before trying to walk up to him in an open meeting up off the streets. So, but it's all I need is an empty building from the city. That's it. Enough to where I can have a place where my vets come and lay down on some mats, kind of like the day center. I'm gonna separate the different sides like at the day center for women or children, and then men on the other side. And I'm gonna have a divider down the middle, partition, excuse me. That way, a couple of women are fighting or a couple of men, I just go to the other side instead of every other place. Every other place, two people want to just argue. Then staff be like, "Oh, you both need to leave. That's the solution." Salvation Army, Day Center, John 3:16, over at the even the college bunker. It's like two dudes arguing. It's like not even throwing blows. Oh, both need to leave. And that's not a dig at the coffee bunker. That's just a guy, man, that's a civilian working there, some big goof. He's civilian. He's still working there. I've never been in the military. He was trying to say something. And then, but anyway, the point is, even at the coffee bunker, they just tell him, hey, y'all need to leave. But it's a place for my emergency shelter. You can't just tell two to leave. The solution is to divide it down the middle. And then that way they're not staring at each other. They're not fighting. One goes to the bathroom, okay, dude went already. Now it's your turn. Same with two females. Because that doesn't, kicking two people out, it's not a solution. You're always going to have people fighting, like arguing, wanting to fight, test each other's limits. So that's something that my place would be different than other places. And I know it worked. Because in the last 6 years, I've worked, a year at John 3:16, and in the last 4 years, up until a year ago, approximately, at Shebrews. Before that, I worked with veterans for 4 years straight at the coffee bunker, so I know what works and won't work. What will not, basically what will work and what doesn't. Okay, I got my palette ready. I'm ready to go. Just time to get already started. We pull some music, get some more coffee on. This painting here should sell at, I'm thinking of a Western art place, and that would be like in April. But there's other options too. Those are the auction houses, those private buyers. Even Kevin Hearn, the U.S. Senator, uh, he's pretty wealthy. He has connections. There's other people that would probably want to buy one or two of the pieces. The one I do with Kevin Hearn and Bill Parker, obviously that'd be something Kevin Hearn Kevin Hearn would want to keep himself. Okay, I'm gonna get some more coffee and then get started. Tools. I, on my brushes. Put a little. Oh, I don't accidentally drink it. Put a palette knife in it. Oh, sorry. I'm using acrylic right now, so put a little water in it. So I need to do a fish hook, do a band there, do his eyeglasses, do his watch, do buttons. Just smaller details that, as I'm telling you, I'm kind of telling myself. Got his thumb, his other fingers, and need to. Got the horn of his saddle. Got the head, got two horses' ears, got the mane. Anything else? Yeah. got some. I need to. I do the background. Get the background kind of down. Definitely want to do that this evening. Do the background. Maybe start on the hand. I'm definitely going to have to work on this Sunday. Today, would have been his 101st birthday, so yeah, just kind of started this a year ago. I was asked to paint, paint him, Bill Parker, by his caretaker about 2 years ago, almost. And so this is the second one I'm doing. I've done another one with Bill Parker. So anyway, I'm about ready to start. I got my palette ready, got some plastic over it, got my brushes, got my reference. Yeah, I got my reference. Yeah. Got my coffee. Just need to do it. Okay. So I need to his glasses. Yeah, listen. Um, I'm ready to start. Okay, so for the leaves around it, I'm gonna do some mid yellow. Yeah, some light, basically some different yellow, yellow to spring. Yep. Pull that out. There you go. Hold on, I gotta get some more candy. Halloween candy. Uh, yeah. Look at my Halloween candy. Oh, oh, Whew. Uh, so got trucker stories I'm listening to with no ads. But I'm about to open up my patio door, some fresh air before I start. But in the background, then do the hand. Yeah, take my time. Gonna lay out my paints. And then I'm gonna work on this tomorrow. But today would have been his 101st birthday. Bill Parker. Yep, 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 yep. Oh, so I gotta stop this little trucker story. It's supposed to be true, scary, but like a little supernatural kind of stuff. But yeah, I need to concentrate real quick. Okay, so I got 2/3 of that done, but I gotta try to make it look as close as I can to the actual picture. Um, so I have a photocopy. Uh, that's a little bit different than a digital one, but both of those show me that it needs more kind of yellow leaves, kind of lighter. Yeah, so with that, get my brushes and my tools, and yeah, with that, I want to do that, and then I'll work on his hand, finish up his. He's got an actual, like, yeah, got a fishing hook, got the band on his hat, and I finish the glasses there. Kind of mute the lower the chroma on the lips, to where it's not so bright, you know. Not really wanting to do so much shadow, like true to just feel take the picture of extra shadow. Not doing that on the face. He's a national treasure. He was mentioned on the floor of Congress when he passed on. I've mentioned that a couple times. Those that are watching, and but nobody, I'm not going for photorealism with that. I'm going for capturing his essence I have here, doing the rest, doing his hand, doing the second hand, doing the wars. Got his watch actually. Put the numbers on it. But that I needed to finish the shirt, finish the other things I said previously, and do the outline. So with that, the outline, the other details for the hat and his face. Then I'm gonna go down to his hand. Then I'm gonna do the shirt, then the watch, I guess. But I'm gonna do both hands when I do that. Then the watch, the shirt, hands, watch, and then from there work on the horse, and then yep, then the saddle horn, you know, and then yeah, and then yeah, so I should be done by tomorrow evening, and then I'm gonna start again on the Hebrew panels. I got about 9 more I need to finish up, and then I can do the second annual Hebrew 2026 calendar. Yep, I'm looking forward to that. I got about 3 done. I got 9 more. Yeah. Should be done by Wednesday. And that can be tied to horse and 8 pads I need for my 2 photocopy machines. Because I'm gonna, have them printed off at like a quick print or something like that, and then I'm gonna have them do the original. Uh, yeah, like the master file for the calendar, and then I'm gonna do 2, maybe 3 calendars this year, and from there I will go ahead and yeah have it done by before Christmas. I mean before the day before Thanksgiving, shoot, because the day after Thanksgiving would be the busy shopping day of the year. So yeah, so I'm not going to overtalk it. That's kind of the game plan. As I set in, I wrote it in there. I knew Bill Parker back in the day. We used to eat lunch together. Place for veterans. First man on the beach in Normandy. Had a full life. Great guy. He mentioned telling stories. That's helped him get over, trauma of, what he went through in the military and the experiences. And so with that, just a great guy. Lived a full life. National hero. Lived to be 98. President of France. Gave him recognition when he went over to France, but he was about 96, so about 3.5, 4 years ago, right after COVID. Anyway, so go ahead and grab a brush and get the paint out. Okay, so kind of shirt, kind of shirt, maybe. Kind of lighter green. That's a lighter green. That's nice. I like that. Got some darker for the horse. Don't mix it to the right value. Got some Indian yellow. Got corrosion blue. Might use that for the dial for his watch. We'll see. I'll just put this up to the side. Really, I'm just trying to match the leaves, total value of the leaves. Yeah. Not a problem. Not a big deal. Won't be hard. I just tedious, but I'll get it. Yeah, got some tidy for the shirt. Yeah, brush. Yeah, I got some other ones. Yeah. Perfect. tighten them up. Use that for a shirt. Got this other one that's a little more fluid. Yeah, this is more. We'll see. Got Payne's Gray. May do that for the hat. We'll see. Turquoise. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Come on. Let me get this side. Let's see. Really looking for got some black flash. Gonna use that for the hat right there. I got some yellow ochre. Maybe, mix that with, get the right tone of light for the horse. Titanium white. Got some different kind of skin tone, kind of pretty mixed. Kind of like an iridescent black for. They use that for the watch band. Kind of burnt umber. Got a raw umber. Use that for the shape of the horse. The horse's ears. It's nickel azo yellow to use. This is light blue. Yeah. That's this parchment. It's my every blood. Iridescent bright silver. Got this light pink, which is a mid tone for skin. So I got iridescent bright silver, iridescent rich silver. That'd be really nice for the glasses and then for on his hat. Got burnt umber. Got a zinc white, but I'm not really sure where I have it. Let's get that. I'm really getting into it now. About ready to. Once I start painting, I usually don't stop. I probably just set up. I want to, I want to go all day tomorrow. I sure do. I don't want to skip all night though. So I'm gonna set up all this, get ready, and then, yeah, I paint a little bit. Let me do that background tonight if nothing else. Yeah, let me do that. Titan. I mean, nobody else would notice it, but I would. So I might use this pale gold for his buttons or just the holes of the buttons. It'd be real nice. Just a nice little accent. If it's red outside, I might use that for the horse. It's iridescent rose gold. I'll use it to sign it later. So I'm to the side. Come on, lady. I'm going to use some ultramarine blue for the dial to launch. believe it or not, the hardest part's really done. That's capturing, his face, his essence. Got to do a little bit more, of course. I'm going to do the classes. Yeah, just, but, doing the hands and stuff. The background is some leaves and some sky. I got some branches. That's nothing. But it's capturing Bill Parker's essence, his face. Oh yeah, I got mute the lips, making towards not so high chroma value. Oh, I got maple yellow. Yeah, that'd be good for the shirt. Gloss hand out pack. Yeah, that's not good. Because that's the horse. There's the underside, the shadow of the hand. Got some yellow. Okay. I got about 3 or 4 different yellow opals. They're the same name, even though it's the same name, it has different makers, different baskets, so they have different characteristics, strengths. Yeah, I use that for the hands, yeah. Got a shading gray. Has a nice shine when it dries. It's semi-transparent. Use that maybe for the hat. Let's see. Really, it'd be for the band and the watch. Yeah, that'd be good. I got two light paints. One. Might use that for the frames or glass. We'll see. Metallic blue. I may use that for the place of launch. We'll see. Got a Perusian blue U, HUE. Yeah, put that up to the side for now. Got a brown flash. Maybe use that somewhere. So I'm gonna match this, the lips. Use these different colors. Make it less chromatic. Yeah, so match a little bit better. Put some of those colors in there to match with that. So we'll do this tomorrow. I'm gonna do my Saturday night. And then I have all this ready for the morning. Ah. We get cadmium orange. Okay. Okay. Yeah, there's a cat orange, so I can lower the chroma value on his lips. We'll do this in the morning. I want to do some days. I'll do something. I'm going to take a break. I'll come back and do a little bit of something. Yeah, the hardest part's already done. That's capturing his essence, with his eyes, smile, basically, the characters of his face. That's already done. So the rest is really just secondary. His hands, his clothing, background, which is some leaves of trees and branches. Ain't nothing. But they want to make sure the horse is done properly. Yeah, because they're sitting on a horse. Yeah, so want the folds in the shirt to be correct and lighting the values of it. So yeah, so definitely all day tomorrow. And so started this almost yeah, a year ago. Drew it out like 2 years ago. I'm gonna finish it tomorrow. And then I have 3 more paintings I need to finish for his legacy. And one with him and Kevin Hearn, U.S. Congressman that recognized Bill Parker on the floor of Congress. And so this will be the second one. Give one to his caretaker, one to his family, one to Kevin Hearn, one to an auction house. So it can be sold to raise money for the first ever emergency shelter for veterans only. I'm not getting the money out of it. It's just to help our fellow vets. And I know Bill Parker would want that, because that's where I met him, as a place for veterans. Several years ago, we used to eat lunch and stuff together. And so that place, it helped veterans in every way, except it didn't have a place for them to lay their head down at night. And there's not one in Tulsa. So, and then so a veteran that went there at Coffee Bunker, his name is Brandon Baca. He eventually froze to death after leaving the Coffee Bunker. That's not a reflection on the bunker. The bunker helps in every way. It just happened that he left that weekend, Brandon Bach, and when he went to sleep, it was a cold snap, and then he just didn't wake up. And so, anyway, with that being said, I'll have 4 or 5 paintings, Bill Parker's legacy paintings, all done. I'd say I want to get that done by April, because one of them was this one or another one where he's holding the baby. He's at a rodeo. Thinking that one would go to, I don't know, family. This one maybe actually would go to an auction house for Western. He's a national hero, and that would definitely sell. That money would go to open emergency shelter for veterans. Veterans only, first ever in Tulsa. So close. We're so close. So, the mayor cares about the plight of those without homes. So those that are civilians are getting the extra beds they need, but I need a place for my veterans, specifically for veterans, to lay their head down that night, whether it's just laying on mats like the day center, but it's a place just for vets, because I know how to deal with them, because I'm a fellow veteran, and I know what kind of problems they have, whereas most vets get banned. Well, I'm not saying most, but a lot get banned from most other shelters, and they just don't know how civilian places, they don't know how to handle them, but I do. And so, with that being said, I think I'll call it evening. Yeah, it's been a long day. It was about 11 o'clock at night. Yeah, about 11:08. So I'm going to start on this in the morning, finish this up. Yeah, must be pretty cool. Almost done. Almost complete. All right. Got all my paint set out. Got all my tools, my brushes. Got all my cameras, everything set up for the morning. Got my palette ready, the plastic one. Put my coffee back in the fridge. I get chilled again for the morning. And just so people know, this is the first painting I did of Bill Parker. Yeah. So this will be the second one. I have about three more I want to do, 3 or 4 more for the legacy. For the legacy photos. So we'll finish. I'm gonna go ahead and rest, and then I'll get up in the morning and finish them. Thank you. Thank you.